I wanted to make a video, an update, for any new drivers out there or anyone who just wants some information about driving for Uber. So I'm just going to share my own experience of, the ratings from the customers, feedback. Yeah, I'm going to talk about feedback. So the first time, when you first start driving, it may be, I think most of the time, I think about 99% of people won't give feedback. Even if something's wrong, or even if something exceeded their expectations, they're probably not going to give any feedback. I don't think you have to. I think either they don't rate or they put a thumbs down. And I'm not sure if you can just, I think some people just select whatever when they do a thumbs down, because my rating has gone down, but I haven't had any feedback. So I'm not sure if there's any, if you do thumbs down, if you can just skip that, probably, because, I don't know. Anyway, it's not important. So, like I said, the first time you start working, for me, I didn't experience any setbacks. I mean, of course there were frustrations, but everything has frustrations, but I didn't have any feedback ever. And I kind of wanted feedback, but the feedback that I got, I didn't appreciate, and I've already talked about before. So it was unprofessional with businesses. People said that they will fall off after 500 trips, and I even think the app said it will come off in 500 trips, but they both came off before I hit 500 trips, okay? So I didn't even have to wait that long. So I got my third feedback today, and it was in regards to damaged items. Okay, the thing is I don't know who said that, so I don't know what customers' items were damaged. One, so I don't know what I can do better, and I understand feedback to be kind of anonymous, right? I think most of the time feedback will always be anonymous. And I can understand the reasoning, and Uber says it's to protect retaliation and all that, but we know where these people live, and there are just some loopholes to that to know who complains. So I don't know who said I damaged goods. The truth is that you always have an idea about who did it. So there's a possibility it was somebody from yesterday, or it was somebody from today. I'm not sure. You just don't know who. So this is what I say about that. Take it as it is. If it's something that you feel is something you could work on, like this, for example, damaged items, well, I could work on that. Thank you. Unprofessionalism with businesses is a little too vague. I would also say if you're a customer and you're going to give your driver any feedback to describe something, and you can make it very vague. You don't have to say exactly what it is. The only way that the driver would know that it was you is that if you are very specific, or if you're their only trip. So some trips don't have bags, some trips don't have drinks, some trips, or very few might have a drink that day or whatnot. So it is very possible to identify yourself. And we do have access to the addresses after the trip is ran. So I don't know the names, but I can tell you which trip they are, because it gives the address of the restaurant still if you go into your trip history. I have no interest in retaliation. I wouldn't ever go to someone's home and harass them about this. It's not that important. This is what I'm trying to say. It's not that important. Your rating is very important. Yes. If it gets under, I think, 85, I've heard you can get deactivated. I haven't been under. I think the lowest I've ever been was like 94, which I was a little worried about because I think that hit with the businesses. I don't necessarily agree that the businesses should be able to rate the driver, personally. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. For us to, I don't really know. Maybe it does make sense. The thing is I'm not a person who is getting bad ratings a whole lot. So I don't dress professionally all the time. I do dress nicely. I wore this shirt today, and I wore shorts, and that's about it. I do wear my workout clothes when I go, and I think I might do that if I get everything together. It's getting close to dinner, and then after dinner, dinner time, I usually walk my sister's dog, so that's usually why I wear that. There's no dress code, but you do need to be, I am covered up. I'm not wearing tank tops driving around. Even though there are people who drive with tank tops and do all that, it's just not my style. It's really hot, but I will just wear a t-shirt. I have worn sleeveless, but they're not tank tops, they're not like working out tank tops or like, I don't know, tank tops. But I do wear, those are usually the professional ones that go, and I usually try to wear something up high. I do have ones that go a little lower, but I try to make sure if I notice that they do go down a little too much throughout the delivery, throughout the day, I just won't wear that shirt again. So I do try to police myself on my clothing. I don't know too much about all that, but what I want to just re-emphasize for any new drivers or anyone that's out there concerned about their rating, you need to just be nice. And you just need to get there in a timely manner with their food in their full complete order. I do say to kind of like count items. The only times I can't do that is if it's sealed into the bag and I can't look inside. I'm not going to open up bags unless a customer asks me to, which I only have done that once, and it made me feel weird. But she really wanted me to make sure that she had everything in the box because she said, in the past she hasn't, and I was just down the street. So I turned around and I got some dipping sauce for her, and then I went to her location. So you have to handle each situation on your own. You have to, this job is all about fixing issues, fixing problems, being a problem solver, relying on yourself to handle them. Every day I run into things that are connected to the app or to the customer or to the restaurant or just in the environment, and it can be very frustrating, and it does impact my earnings. All of it does. Yesterday I was trapped by a garbage truck going down a residential street, and that was the complication that I did not appreciate. So I'm just bringing this up so that these ratings are not the end all for you. They should be something that you are aware of, but you shouldn't be so concerned. I was very upset about it. I actually went to the hub about it because I was so upset, and I made a post on the Facebook groups about it. And what veteran drivers are the ones that I would recommend listening to about advice about how to handle situations. They're the ones that have been doing it the longest. That means that they are successful. People like me, I'm newer. I'm going to tell you what the veteran drivers say. So this is just how I do it, is I just let it go. And I do try to be as careful with people's food There was just one yesterday that was a little lopsided, so I feel like that was the one that said that there was damaged goods, which is possible. That's my only real complaint about using bags, is because once I put that food into the bag, I can't really keep it very secure. So things can get moved around a little bit, and I just try to monitor it. And I do seatbelt most of the food into the seat now, just to keep it secure. But that's like something new that I've been doing. So maybe that's the problem. So I'm just saying, you just need to keep driving. So if you get anything bad, any thumbs down, you need to just keep driving. And the longer you drive, the more ratings you'll get. And as long as you're doing things correctly, meaning just basic delivering food, you're going to get enough people giving you thumbs up that the ones that are thumbs down will eventually fall off. So I'm thinking, if I do 300 more deliveries, this one will fall off. I'm not sure exactly what all the customer sees about me. And here we can see like our little profile with the customer can see, but I'm not sure if they can actually see all of this. I'm sure they can see the ratings and everything. So this did drop my rating down to 98%, but just don't let it get to you and don't worry too much about it. The biggest thing is just to keep driving. The worst thing you can do is to not drive, because then you're not doing as many and it's not gonna even out. So you need to drive more. I don't think all the customers rate, and so that means that's a lot of thumbs up that you're not getting. I also would recommend texting or messaging the customer if you want. I only do that if I don't see them personally. And I have thought about, putting like a little card in there to thank them. So I'm not sure exactly. I don't really have any real plan yet of moving forward with it, but this was just to let you know. Don't worry too much about those ratings and the feedback, but it is important to be aware and to know how you're handling yourself, to have gotten that feedback and to correct it in the future, just to make sure, especially if you want to keep driving, and to not stop driving. Keep going. Don't get discouraged, ever. Don't get discouraged.